Go ahead and run it.
You ready?
Well, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Live from Kentucky and Louisiana, 2 Marines, 1 mission. This is Sense and Senseless. From the hills to the bayou, stories collide. Brothers in arms, now we're side by side. Sense and senseless, we cut through the noise. 2 Southern Marines with that rebel voice. Grab a seat, pour a drink, let's make some sense. Or none at all, it just depends. Sense and senseless.
Hey, welcome back to Sense and Senseless. I am Brian.
I'm Jason.
He is Jason. All right, what we're going to do this week? Well, this week, we're going to get to know a little bit about old BiBi Netanyahu. Yahoo! We'll discuss the Epstein Files. I don't know if you've seen what went down in Mexico last Sunday, but we're going to discuss that. And the foreign terrorists that are in the United States right now. There was an ICE agent whistleblower that I found very interesting. We're going to talk about tonight, Jason, because that goes back to some of the stuff we were talking about.
Sorry, whistleblower.
It
I got
goes
to get a
back
whistle. I got to get a whistle. That was awful. Sorry,
it sounded
audience.
it sounded like you farted or something.
I know. I was trying to do a whistle sound and couldn't do it. So sorry.
Well, we got an ICE agent whistleblower, which goes back to some of the stuff that we discussed a few weeks ago with Alex Preddy. So we're going to revisit that. And there's going to be a lot more to talk about here tonight on the Sense and Senseless podcast. But first, I want to talk about.
Just let that dude lie though, real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but can we just get over Alex Preddy and just go on to the next thing?
No. We're going to let him
why-
lie. No. This is not why I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing this up to
I
show
know,
you something
not
about
you.
ICE.
I'm talking like ICE and everybody. Just why is this
No,
dude still in the news? Why is he still in
didn't
the
know it.
news?
I don't know.
You
he's
don't
still
create the news. You just bring it up. I mean,
Is he
I'm
still
not
in the
blaming
news though?
you. I guess.
I'm not bringing him up. No, I'm not bringing him up because he's in the news. I'm bringing up because of the whistleblower from. You'll see at the end. Just relax.
All
We'll
right,
get to it.
all
All
right.
right.
Gosh, Dag, you are getting me fired up.
All right.
You get my angina all worked up.
Well, first I want to talk about the national debt, and before we get into the night show, and that's because last week we questioned about paying off the debt with all the money that our government officials waste or steal, as Jason says every year. So I took a brief look into this, and I just wanted to share my findings. So the U.S. national debt is exploding right now, clocking in around 38.8 trillion as of February of this year. Yeah, 38.8, basically 39 trillion fucking dollars.
That's a lot of money.
With debt held by the public around 31.1 trillion. So of the, basically, I guess the government would own 7 trillion. We own the other 31 trillion. So I mean, I think we get no. I don't know how that works, dude. But
is my credit that jacked up? Jeez, we were just talking about my business, my company business card. Let me text my wife, write a check for 31.1 trillion. Let's get this paid off. All right,
let's do this.
Well, just
first off,
it.
This year for just the interest payments alone on our debt this year is going to be right around $1 trillion for fiscal year 2026. And the Congressional Budget Office, I mean, right now they're painting a grim picture, what's going to be in the future. And I think we can all see that. If we almost $39 trillion already in debt, and we're paying $1 trillion on the interest just on the debt we own. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take the Congressional Budget Office to tell us that we on a downward spiral. But anyway, they're saying the deficit hits 1.9 trillion this fiscal year, climbing to 3.1 trillion by 2036. So the debt held by the public surges 101% of GDP right now to 120% by 2036, blowing past the World War II record of 106%. All right.
We're about setting records, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, we're all about setting records. So now the net interest, well, it doubles to 2.1 trillion annually by 2036, eaten nearly 20% of the entire federal budget. So we're going to spend 20% of our federal budget on just interest should we keep going the direction we're going now. And, you know, that's money that could fix roads, fund schools, cut your taxes. Instead, it's just servicing borrowed money from yesteryear. Now, so that's where we're at. And we discussed that multiple times, so we kind of know that. But here's what I found out, and the flip side of the coin is we don't have to let this spiral continue. We could attack the debt without raising taxes on everyday Americans or even gutting our core programs. And what's the plan? Well, we slashed the fraud, waste, and abuse, stolen money. We closed that massive. We closed the massive tax gap and redirect overseas aid straight to pay down the debt, and all that found money that we get. You know, hundreds of billions dedicated to 100% of reducing the principal on our debt. So here's a quick recap: the tax gap, like we discussed last week, the IRS estimates that we'd lose about $396 billion gross in unpaid taxes annually. That was the latest of 2022, so I'm sure it's a lot more now. Netting around $606 billion after we recover some of that money, and that's owed to the to the United States under laws. All right, so we could recollect that money. The fraud, waste, and abuse, or like Jason likes to call it, the stolen money. Well, we lose between 231 to 521 billion per year. We lose, let me repeat that. We lose between 233 to 521 billion per year across all the programs.
Now, hold on. Time out. I can always see your lips and your tongue need a little refreshing and a little break, all that reading. How in the hell do you lose that kind of money?
Well, we don't hire the best. We don't hire the best.
We're going to work on your. We're going to work on your word choice, Brian. That's not loss. That's straight up theft, man. Somebody's pockets are getting fat. I'm not going
to call the government thieves. They're just losing. They're just irresponsible.
They're just losing it. They ain't lost it on my street. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'd love to see a car drive by with cash flying out of it. I'd be like, yeah. Or like Batman or whatever.
Yeah.
But
and
hey, I got one question. I got one question for you. Have you seen the Dow?
Have you seen the Dow?
Just thought I'd throw that in there with all that money missing.
Yeah, I'm glad you remembered that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember if it was last week or the week before when we discussed the stolen money out of Medicare and all this other stuff. And I mean, this is where it's coming from. And then we got one other thing I dug into was the foreign aid. So Congress approved roughly $50 billion this year for overseas programs. And if we redirect that money back home, I mean, that's tens of billions of dollars more annually that we can use towards the debt. So conservatively, and I'm just trying to be as generous as possible this when I'm doing the math. So if we take 600 billion from the tax gap, so we'll take the other 96 billion, we're not even gonna play with that. So we'll just say if we get 600 billion from the tax gap, 300 to 400 billion from fraud, waste, stolen fucking money, and then the 50 billion back from foreign aid. So that's up to $1 trillion of potential savings or redirected funds. Okay. So that's $1 trillion right there. So now, and I'm not, I'm not an accountant. I don't know how all this shit works. So I just playing with the simple arithmetic. I'm not saying that, you know, if you did this, but just simple arithmetic. So now if you dedicate every one of those dollars to the debt reduction, no new spending, no gimmicks, and just watch the math work. Okay. So in year one, you're putting $1 trillion towards the deficit, right? That means the next year we would borrow less if we stay within the budget because we're not going to overspend on our budget, right? And in year two, we save roughly 33 billion in interest on that lower debt. And then however, all that compounded interest and paying off your credit cards early and shit, it snowballs, right? Eventually. So to get to those numbers, I had to I had to put it in AI. I'm not smart enough to do that. So I ran the numbers through AI, and at a realistic 700 billion annual paydown, factoring in what's truly recoverable, in 10 years, the debt will be $1 trillion lower, interest payments hundreds of billion dollars smaller. And if you stretch this to 20 or 30 years, we could stabilize the debt to GDP and then start shrinking it meaningfully, potentially slashing or eliminating the publicly held burden within a generation. That's no more interest, crowding out everything else, lower rates for mortgages and loans, stronger economy, and more fiscal room for real priorities. And for the most part, everything I did was basic arithmetic, and I ran those final numbers through AI, and that's what they give us. But I'm assuming someone a lot fucking smarter than me can do this, right? But why are we not doing it? And the only reason I can think that we're not doing it is they're just going to bleed us dry, or the biggest thing is political suicide to do that. If you start holding everyone accountable for what they're doing, and you start calling out what needs to be called out, it's a good chance that you're not going to be a politician anymore, because you just ain't in the game, you know? And we talked about that multiple times.
Right.
And I think that we need to talk about this more. I don't think we need to gloss over this much. You know, I mean, this should be a real focal point on getting us the damn government, get us a budget. Let's get a budget. What we in going into March, and we still don't have a budget from last year in October.
Right.
Do your job. Get us a fucking budget, and then start keeping that budget under what we bring in, just like you would have to do in a household, so you don't kill our next generation or kill our kids. You know, you putting all this shit on our kids. So we need to do as much as we can to try to hold these people accountable for this shit. What do you think about that, Jace? I mean, does it sound plausible to do it?
Dude, the math works out. The problem is nobody's going to do nothing about it. You see it, I see it, but until America comes together, minus the government, and says enough's enough, it's not going to work.
No,
I'm not trying to be Downy Dumpster. The whole problem is, Brian, they pit us. We talk about it week after week after week after week after week. And that's probably the drum we beat all the time, right? The dog we kick that's down, the horse, whatever. It's because they keep us divided, man. It's like, gosh dang, every day I see something. And when we talk about it, it's just heightened more and more that I see it. Is that, you see it too?
Yeah, you start to notice it more.
Even the underlining things, like we talk about psyops and how they get in your mind, and how your phone, when you look at stuff, you're like, why is this popping up on my phone? Yeah.
Does it make you feel crazy awakening?
It does.
It does.
And I kept referring back to the Truman Show, or the Truman Story. It's not the Truman Story, it's the Truman Show. I was like, I was sitting there listening to our podcast this last week driving around, and I was like, man, I sound like an idiot. And people are probably on there yelling, it's the Truman Show, not the Truman Story.
The two people that listen to us, huh?
No, there's
no, we getting better. We are.
We're getting better. We are.
Oh, shout out to my brother. He watches every week. Thanks, Jay. Shout out, bro.
Yeah, and I hope if I bring the energy that makes you laugh and cut up. So I try to, man. This is all.
That's what Jen was asking me today when we rode to Texas. She's like, what are you going to do? What we doing the podcast on? I'm explaining to her. And she's like, can you find something? Well, can you find something that's more uplifting? I said, it's not that I'm not trying to be uplifting. I'm trying to show whoever's listening what's actually going on from what I see it. It's all opinionated. I'm giving you as many facts as possible I can give you, but it's still at the end of the day my opinion on what I'm bringing out. I get all that.
Right.
And there is a lot of good things, and I'm not going to shit on this country. I love this country. I mean, there's a lot of great things in this country. I think the problem is this
country's shitting on itself, Brian.
Well, not only
that's the problem.
Yeah, they don't. People want to shy away from the tough discussions, and we got to quit shying away from that. You know, we have to see these tough discussions. You know, we have to go talk to our kids about the birds and the bees. You got to rip the Band-Aid off. You know, you just have to do this shit.
I almost feel like the stuff that we're talking about, as we have said before, we don't 100% see eye to eye, but man, we're at least in the bleachers together.
Yep.
Because we're looking at facts.
We're supporting the same team for sure. We might not agree with everything the
because
team's
we both want a good America for everybody, for the Hispanics, for the Latino. I'll just say Latinos, the Asians, the Europeans.
Okay, now that you started naming all of them, you have to name all ethnicities. Go.
Gosh dang, man.
If not, someone's going to say you're racist because you forgot this one, you forgot that one.
No, people stop doing that. Anybody that comes over here legally, even with papers, even with a work visa or whatever, welcome. Thank you for doing it the right way. You're doing it legally.
But they still have to assimilate.
We appreciate that.
They still have to assimilate. They still have to want the. You can't come over here. Yes, you can always be proud of your culture. I'm never going to get with that. But we still all have to assimilate as a people. We all have to want the same things in life, because that's how we're going to grow as a country. If everyone is different, and don't remember, you're supposed to have difference. But if we have 1,000 different tribes in this country and no one gets along, you're going to be, for one, and I don't care, how y'all look at this. That's the easiest way to defeat people, is to separate them. And not only is our country doing it, but the other countries are looking at that. So if we can't pull together just right here, what's going to happen if something really bad happened in this country?
Well, like Omar, in his here's the deal right now. We both said who we voted for, and I don't care to tell people, and it's nobody's business, but I'll tell you, and it's still none of your business even when I tell you who I voted for, right? It's your right to vote for whoever. It's my right too, as long as we're legally registered voters. Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody has a right to vote who they want for, right? You're going to tell me that any president, I don't care, Obama, Clinton, the guy that looked like a Roomba on stage bouncing off walls,
he had a
that didn't know
last night.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he had one. I don't know.
Finish
I didn't know he could still talk.
I'm gonna catch you up on that. I wanted to say that so I don't forget. Go ahead.
Okay. Were you going to play it?
No, I don't have it. I just heard it on the way home. I want to tell you about it.
Okay. So anyways, if any of them are sitting there in their address, or what is that called again? The that he had earlier this week.
State of the Union.
State of the Union address. So sorry, everybody's like, man, this dude's an idiot. Yeah, I am sometime. I got a lot on my mind and I forget stuff. But anyways, he's up, any of them sitting there saying, please stand for me if you put Americans first, American citizens first above illegal immigrants or people that want to harm us. And Fetterman, I think, was the only Democrat that stood. And Ilhan Omar, or whatever her name is, and whoever that woman was beside her was sitting there yelling stuff at him acting the fool, acting like
yelling
children.
At Fetterman?
No, yelling at Trump.
Oh, yelling at Trump.
I didn't hear any Republicans yelling at Biden.
There was a few. They did it a few times. I'm not going to lie. They called him a liar a few times. But again, I think that we just got that. I'm not going to say what they did. Did they lose class? Yes. Is it something that the Republicans didn't do? No. So I can't protect them in that instance, but I can tell you what I don't like. Go ahead, finish your story, and I'm going to tell you what I don't like about the State of the Union.
She's an immigrant. If you don't like it over here, pack your bags and leave. I don't understand these people, Brian. They want to sit here and they want to crap all over us. They want to tell us how bad it is over here, and they have every ability to get a plane ticket and take your ass back to Somalia. Leave.
They haven't finished taking enough money from us yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Your daycares ain't done raping us dry over in Minneapolis. So we're not that bad because you're still here. Like Rosie O'Donnell's fat ass. I'm probably going to be a lot language tonight. So pardon anybody watching me like, oh.
So we the worst country in the world that nobody wants to leave.
Whoopi Goldberg. If that dude gets president, I'm leaving the country. None of them left. Ellen DeGeneres did, but I think because she thought that they were coming after her.
Who?
Ellen
But
DeGeneres.
who was going after her?
I think her name was on the file.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, what I noticed, and I'm glad you brought it up because I wanted to mention this to you on the State of the Union address. I watched maybe an hour and 10 minutes, and I just had enough of it because I got tired of watching them stand up and applause. It's like, look, fuck this, let's get through it. But the one thing that stood out that I didn't like, well, there was a few things, but the one thing that stood out the most that I don't like, and it's every time I watch it, why the fuck are the Republicans and the Democrats separated in that building? First of all, they should not be. They should be put in there either by rank or by their state. That shows you right there how divided we are. That should not be a symbol on how divided we are as a country. Period.
It is.
Exactly, it is, but it shouldn't be. And the cabinet members and the Supreme Court people should sit in the back. Yep. You were not voted in. You were appointed.
Yes.
Go to the back.
Yep.
You know, there's nothing special about you other than the fuck that you work directly for the president. Go to the back. Everybody else works for, the people of the United States, and that's their house. You should not sit in front of them. And then
I don't even think they should be in there. They should be in another room having to watch on TV like the rest of us.
Or go in the gallery. But the biggest thing is don't separate these people. You can't allow them to separate. What they did with us in school, they wanted you to mix with other people, right? So they sat you next to people that you didn't know. That forced you to talk to them. Same thing they did to you in the Corps. They would move you around. It forced you to talk to other people. Hell, if you watch Remember the Titans, what they did between the white and black football players.
Damn.
The shit works. You got to put people together. You can't separate them yourselves. And when I was looking at that, and because we key on it all the time, that is a great representation of what they want done with the United States. And it's like, when you see that, people just like, yeah, my team did this. Yeah, my team did that. They're all on fucking team, people.
Yeah. From the top down, they're doing that to us. They're doing it in the government, and they roll it down to us. They want separation.
Exactly. And you have to lead by example. And in my opinion, they're just not leading by example. I think Trump I didn't like the way it started off, but once he got more into what he is, I enjoyed it a little more with Trump. It's just, and I would have watched it all. That fucking stopping and getting up and standing and pausing and stopping. Shut up. Just fucking let the man speak. We all know you want to suck his dick. You all want to make sure that he's doing
great.
He
wants it too. Okay. He wants it too, though.
Well, yeah, he does too. But
he's
let's just get through it. You're right.
He's a narcissist, and he wants that.
You can
I bet you he was anywhere from half to 3/4 chub sitting up there.
He's probably full chub. He's probably full chub.
Probably full chub. But
at least whenever the Democrats didn't stand up and he called them crazy, he was full chub. He was full. He might have been a little bit ejaculating at that point.
he had to hold up. He had some napkins up there underneath the podium.
All right. So we were talking about, taking we were talking about taking the debt down with the money that was that's stolen from us or given to other countries, and there is a way to do it. And I found this little clip from Tommy Tuberville, and what he says, every American believes, and this guy just comes out and just says it right there on the fucking floor. Check this out.
This is all a scam. I mean, we got people that's getting ready to retire that's going to try to live off $2,000 to $3,000. Impossible. It's impossible. Because what happens, it comes up here, we spend it. We're $35 trillion in debt. We don't have any money. We're dead broke. And then taxpayers have $2 trillion in credit card debt. In this body, we had better start figuring that out, because we're going to have a run on this city here soon, and there's going to be about 150 million people coming up here saying, where's our damn money that we paid in? I could have put my Social Security money 40 years in tax in the market and probably be worth 8 to 10 million today. But the federal government wasted.
Yep, federal government wasted our money.
Then he just, you ain't getting it. We're broke.
Yeah. They're going to have to march up here and fucking take this money, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's saying that, and I'm glad he's putting attention on it. I just would wish somebody would actually do something. I mean, we can't even pass a budget.
He's saying it, but he's not doing nothing.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, it's like, so I give him credit for at least saying it, but until I see something. And, oh, man, they spend our
Well,
money.
no, hold on.
ahead.
You know I'm gonna correct you on that.
What's that?
You're the pot calling the kettle black now.
About what?
You when we talked about the Epstein Files, when I brought up, well, why didn't Biden's team do anything or Obama? You're like, dude, I ain't hearing that no more. It's now release the files.
Okay.
Well, same thing. He's saying stuff, but he ain't doing nothing. You want to give him credit for saying something.
Well, yeah, I give him credit for saying it, but that's it. I'm not giving him credit because he's not
He don't
doing
get
what he
no
needs
credit.
to do.
He don't get no credit, dude. Because they all stealing our money, Brian. They all are.
I agree with that. I'm not saying Toby Tuberville is the cleanest person in the world. I'm just showing you that it's actually being mentioned on the House floor, and it's good to hear that.
I can't get past that military dude and his buddy running for office, and him saying, "I can't give you money, man, because you're gonna get bought. You're gonna get bought."
I'm sure.
And what'd you say? Anybody that's in office and staying in office has been bought.
Well, I'm going to show you some good shit tonight that's going to fucking really get you pissed off. So,
hey, dude, I got a little Mountain Dew left. I got me 2 Lipton peach teas up here. I mean, I'm ready, man.
All right,
let's do it. I am lathered up.
So that's our Social Security just gone, and they just spend our fucking money. Well, they waste our money like it's theirs, you know. And some people get pissed off when I say this, but I don't give a fuck. So they fucked up the budget last year, right? Mm-hmm. And then this government shut down. And then they decide, since the TSA workers went in, they're going to give them $10,000 bonus for working while the government was shut down. So when you look at it, I think it was like 50,000 TSA workers, and then it was like 47,000 that they thought might get paid. So that's what, $470 million. Okay. Good for TSA. I'm not mad at the TSA agents for getting that money. I mean, they deserve it. What I'm mad at is the government fucked up, didn't pass a budget. TSA guys are like, fuck it, I ain't going to work because you're not paying me. Which why should you go to work if they're not paying? The only reason you got a fucking job is to get paid. Right?
That's right.
And
I don't go
now
for
you're going to take our fucking money and pay them off to make them feel better? No, take it out of your own fucking pocket. You're the one that fucked up and didn't get the budget passed.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, that would have been awesome if they calculated all that money and withheld it from everybody in the government.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But it don't matter. They could fuck up all they want. It don't matter.
Yeah, because it's us Americans that pay for it, not them.
Yeah.
And it's like, Brian, it's like they're not even American. They don't even get into that conversation. When we say the American people have to pay for it, the government isn't even part of that American. That just hit me. They don't even get to put their name in there because they're not getting screwed. Them bastards got paid, didn't they?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I tell you or not. But yeah, I would assume their check didn't bounce.
Yeah.
They were essential, Jason.
Essential oils. Yeah. Essential. I'm an essential person too. I'm not kidding. Anytime we've had a thing, we get a damn
everybody's
federal
essential.
paperwork.
I mean, we get the same shit. Just because everyone thinks that if their shit goes down, that the world's going to stop. No, it's not. Get over your fucking self. No one's fucking shit is that damn essential.
I ain't trying to screw my daughter or nothing, but where she lives doesn't allow pets unless it's a what do you call that? A service dog.
Yeah.
So my wife got online and signed her up, and they called her, talked to her, and sent her paperwork, and she gets to have her dog there.
Because the service? She was a service dog?
No, it wasn't. But they signed a paper saying it was.
Well, there you go.
And they can't argue the paper.
Can't you just buy a vest for it and say?
Yeah, you could do that too. I can buy official service vests for my Frenchies and take them anywhere I want, and nobody can question it. It was just like saying you saying everybody thinks that their business is essential.
They do.
Because I guarantee businesses don't want to shut down again like COVID and all that. Everybody wants to be essential now so their business don't shut down. So they file the paperwork and they get a government paper. Yep. It's not even special anymore. I thought I was
It's
special
not.
during COVID.
It's not special anymore. Fucking McDonald's is
Yeah. Hey, McDonald's
They
is
order you,
essential.
right? Yeah.
You shut your mouth, dude.
My
They
brother,
are.
my brother watching me. They pick on my brother all the time. He go to McDonald's every motherfucking morning, probably every day.
Jay, I got your back on that, buddy. Every morning, man. Breakfast burritos. Even if they ain't done right, I still eat them. I get mad and say I ain't coming back, and I'm back there the next morning. It's like meth.
He's the same way. He like his Diet Coke though, his big old fucking Diet Coke. You gotta have that fountain drink. Then they say that McDonald's ice to Coke ratio is perfect.
Yes, it is. And then their mixture, if it's right, their syrup to carbonated water mixture is perfect. And it's like I get Diet Dr. Pepper, but this morning the cat gave, I think this morning, maybe it was last night when we were going to group, we got dinner at McDonald's. But I got 2 cheeseburgers and fries, and them fries were hot. Oh. I think
did you just come?
Yeah, no, but I'm half chub. But anyways, my wife got the chicken nuggets and fries, and it was, when was it? Was it this morning? No, it was this morning. And she goes, "This is Coke," and I said, "I'll take a Coke." And I said, I hadn't had one in a while. Well, then he brought another one out. I gave it to her, and she goes, "Oh, that's Coke too." I said, "Well, shut up. Have a Coke and a smile and shut the hell up." That's what Richard Pryor told Eddie Murphy to tell Bill Cosby. But anyways.
All right. So I looked into foreign aid also, and this is going to tie it. All this is going to start tying in now.
Okay.
The first thing I just wanted to recap from last week, because I really wanted to check in and see if we took all that stolen money back and got everything. How long would it take us to pay off the debt? And basically a generation. So I don't think that's a bad deal. I think that's something they should look at. They're not going to look at it because they don't give a fuck.
No.
And we're just all morons. But I'm going to go on to the $50 billion that we spend in foreign aid, because I want you to see where that shit goes. All right?
Let's watch
it. So Trump came in and they did Doge, and they had dramatic cuts to overseas aid. So that was great, right? So they dismantled USAID and shit. And then Congress pretty much hit the brakes and they reversed course, well, at least partially. And it was February 3rd, President Trump signed the Consolidation Appropriations Act, including the National Security, Department of State, and related programs bill. And Congress had appropriated about $50 billion for diplomacy and foreign assistance for 2026. Now that's a 16% cut from the 2025 levels. All right. But here's the catch. All right. It's nearly 19 to 20 billion more, or 60% higher than what Trump administration own requested was. So the Trump administration for this year requested 31.5 billion. And the baseline level for this thing was 50 billion. So the administration suggested 31.5 billion. And then after Congress appropriations went through, it's around 50 billion. So yes, it went down basically 10 billion from last year, but it's still a lot higher than what Trump administration wanted. So I guess the Trump administration is really trying to do the right thing, but then it got blown up. Could somebody else be, blowing it up for some other reason? I don't know. Well, anyway, a few highlights from the bill. The global health gets 9.4 billion, more than double the administration's ask of 3.7 billion. This keeps strong support for HIV, AIDS, malaria, and child health, family planning, and shit for people overseas. And then they got humanitarian assistance. It lands at 5.5 billion. Economic development assistance, that was 6.8 billion. Democracy and human rights preserved around 2.2 billion. And then the security and military aid, all right, that rises to 6.2 billion, with boosts for key allies like Israel, who ends up with 3.3 billion. So of the 6.2 billion we have in foreign aid, Israel's getting 3.3. They're getting a little more than half. And this was a bipartisan deal that Congress reasserted its power to the purses in 2025's executive overreach, like massive rescissions to USAID shutdown. So the bottom line, Congress drew a line against the most extreme America First slashes, preserving tools for soft power and global stability. the U.S. foreign aid to Ukraine and Israel represents a significant portion of total overseas assistance, particularly in security and military categories. I'm more interested in the, we know what's been going on with Ukraine, but a lot of people aren't as spun up on what goes on in Israel. So I'm gonna hit a few key things of that tonight. So I just want to open the minds of some people. So the U.S. aid to Israel is overwhelming, military and security focused, make it unique among major recipients. So unlike aid to many countries, which includes significant humanitarian health or development components, Israel's aid is mostly entirely in the form of grants for military equipment, services, and joint defense programs. And this is what I really didn't know. This stems from a 2016 Memorandum of Understanding, so that covering from 2019 to 2028, which commits the United States to $38 billion over 10 years, $3.3 billion annually in foreign military financing, and $500 million annually for missile defense cooperation. So the baseline structure of all this was the annual compensation or annual money that we're fucking giving to Israel is $3.8 billion. All right. So then they take $3.3 billion. That's grants given to Israel to purchase. Listen to this shit. We're giving them $3.3 billion to purchase U.S. military equipment and services. You understand what I just told you? We're giving Israel $3.3 billion to buy shit from us.
Yes.
Tell me they ain't laundering money right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then the missile defense that they have over there is still another $500 million. And this is for joint U.S.-Israeli programs, including the Iron Dome and David Sling and Arrow System. So basically they getting all their missiles from us, from the shit that we already gave them and built them, from the money that we sent them to buy the fucking weapons from us to send to them.
Well, my
Who's
thing
winning
is,
in this?
right, yeah.
How
it
is this helping us?
Well, if it wasn't laundering money, then wouldn't it? They just give it to them for free. Man, that's what you're doing. You're giving them our. Yeah, well, I'm just saying you're giving them our military equipment and services, and we're giving you money so you can give it back to us. I don't. That's. People say I got to stop using this term because it's offensive, but that's retarded.
It is.
That makes no sense to me. I mean,
well, it makes a lot of sense if you're the one selling the shit.
Okay,
if the government
I'm selling pot. I'm selling pot, Brian, and you want some pot. So I give you $1,000. And then I was like, okay, now you got to give it back to me to buy my pot.
You're looking at it all wrong. So if you the government, you giving the money to Israel. Israel don't buy the weapons from the government. The government can't sell it. They got to buy it from like Raytheon or whatever. So when that money comes back in, it's going to them. Right. So if you on the board of those companies, guess who's making the money?
Yeah, It
ain't the government. It's the motherfuckers running the government. And the motherfuckers that own those damn businesses, the defense industry,
and the people who they're in their pockets. There's people in the government making money off this.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong, but they're not making it directly. Is what I'm getting at. It's not getting paid back to the American people.
Yeah, it's not getting put in the government's bank.
Correct.
Like, yeah,
that's what I'm getting at. So they giving you.
Well, that dude already said we're broke. He already. That Tommy Tuberville done say we broke. We don't have no money. So
because we're giving it all away.
I know. Well, people within the government have money, just not the government.
Yeah.
No, hey, think about that too. That'll blow your mind. Like What's me that? And you work for our companies. Like say all of us employees, we have money, but the company doesn't have money. That's how that would be.
Yeah.
So you people out there listening, it's like if you work for McDonald's or wherever you work for, just I don't care who you work for. There ain't no shame in that. You work, that's awesome. But that'd be like you and all your other fellow employees having money, but your company has nothing. How does that work?
You talking about the company being the government?
No. I'm not going to spill my company out or your company
No,
out.
no,
right?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. So in your analogy, the company is the government?
Yes. How do people accept that? Where Tuberville said we don't have any money.
No, what he's saying is you don't have your money. That's what he's saying.
Well, that's saying, but what
he's
I'm
saying,
saying,
there's no money in Social Security.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's the same concept.
Mm-hmm.
There's no money. There's no money here. We done spend it all.
No,
but the people in the government have money. Your senators and congressmen and all that crap, they're crooked as hell, all of them. I'm sorry. They all got money from special interests and all that, from being bought off. But the government they work for don't have crap. They're in debt. What's our debt again?
The 38, almost 39 trillion.
Okay, any company like that would already had to have filed bankruptcy and been sold.
Yeah, I looked into that too, and it said that you can't look at it in the fact of like a household budget, because it's, I don't know, they named all kind of fucking words and all this other shit, that I didn't understand. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's not a household budget, so I didn't even put that in.
You're like, okay.
Yeah,
because they start.
It's like I didn't care. I just don't care.
Yeah, because they talked too. They talked you out of that argument is all they did.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like, I wasn't doing that. I got enough shit to talk about.
I know.
I don't need to talk about that.
But it just hit me that basically I feel like that's how our government as a whole is. Our government bank account is in debt, like majorly in debt. But the people that work for it are flourishing with money.
Yeah, because they just stealing our shit, and they running these fucking schemes by sending this shit overseas. Well, before we get too deep into that,
okay, yeah,
my
I just wanted to throw that out. You can go on.
Is why do we send so much money to Israel? Why are they so important to us?
Dude, I'm telling you, man, you're making me go somewhere I really don't want to go. But I talked about this in Sunday school because, Brian, when you believe in the Bible, Israel is God's chosen people. Okay. So any Protestant, Catholic, Protestant, whatever, Christian believes that Israel, we stand behind Israel. That's God's chosen people. And if you look, you got to put some validity to that. Look at that little country surrounded by everybody else that can't stand them, Muslims all around them. And they have never been wiped off the face of the earth. Why not?
I don't know.
Because they're protected.
Hold on. I don't even know if Israel was a country that long. I think Israel didn't become a country until the 1900s somewhere.
Dude, them people, them Jews, they've been living over there. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
They've
been Jews all over the world too.
I know, but I'm telling you that is Jew central.
Okay.
Yeah, like Compton and
hold on. So are you saying that they're better people because they're able to survive with all the Muslims around them? So they're stronger than us?
They're not stronger. They're just protected. There's
you really
a higher force protect. Oh, yeah.
I'm serious.
I truly do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
But I don't believe Netanyahu or whatever his name is, BiBi.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he is chosen. He could be the Antichrist. He could be, you know what I'm saying? He could be demonic. He could have a demonic presence over him.
Now, I want to make sure that I differentiate this. I am not talking about the people of Israel.
Right.
I'm not talking about Jewish people or people of Jewish faith. What I'm asking is, why do we care so much about Israel? Like, it'd be the same thing. Why I care so much about the United States. I love this. This is my country. It's the greatest country in the world. That's where I spend all my taxes. This is where I want my money to stay. This is where I want my family to grow up. Why should I care about Israel? Why should my money go to Israel? That's why I should care about it. So my money should go to Israel.
Well, no, you shouldn't, but that's the ploy they use.
Gotcha. They use the ploy of the religion that you should care about it.
Yes. That's God's chosen people. You better back them up, because if not, you're going against the Lord.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's all. I'm just trying to whether you believe in that or not.
No, I've heard that. And
Yes.
I honestly, I don't understand that. I can't say that, man, I got to protect this place because, that's where God grew up. No, that sounds stupid. I mean, we're 2026 years since Jesus? And I'm supposed to believe that the people there have the exact same motives that Jesus had? Really?
No, they actually denied him.
Or whatever you say, it doesn't matter. If we just go 2 generations back, you do not have the same morals and the mentality of that generation.
No,
so you can't make me
don't.
believe that from 2026 years ago.
Yeah, but they've done bad stuff and they've been punished and all. You just got to read the Bible from front to back and you'll understand kind of where that's coming from. Even if you're just reading it to like a history, right? You don't have
me
to.
and Jennifer thought about having it, doing an audio for it and like listen to a little bit each day. And maybe we'll finish it before we die. But
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you can. It doesn't take too long. There's actually, you can get online and you can do the Bible in a year.
Well, I've watched Erica Kirk say the other day that she read the Bible 3 times in 8 months.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how much you spend a day reading. I mean, you read 30 minutes to an hour a day. Yeah, you can get through the Bible pretty quick. But what but not to go too far, and it's not too far off subject.
No, that's the question. I'm asking the question.
Yeah, it's an alliance. It's that's the one alliance we want.
All right. Well, I've been wanting to get into Israel for a long time, and I got a lot of information on it. But there's so much information, I couldn't figure out a way. I mean, even if we did an episode, it would just be real clunky. So I decided I was going to do a little bit each week. I put something together yesterday, and of course now today we fucking bombing Iran. But what I want to do this week is we're going to get to know a little bit about BiBi Netanyahu. So we're going to meet BiBi Netanyahu. We're going to see who this guy is, and then we'll talk a little bit about Israel, and then we'll move off of this subject. So this first cut is from Isaiah Speaks Out. Check this out.
This is word for word, verbatim, from the Jerusalem Post by Benjamin Netanyahu in 1990. If we get caught, they will just replace us with a person from the same cloth. So it doesn't matter what you do. America is a golden calf, and we will suck it dry, chop it up, and sell it off piece by piece until there is nothing left but the world's biggest welfare state that we create and control. Why? Because it's God's will. And America is big enough to take the hit, so we can do it again and again and again. This is what we do to the countries that we hate. We destroy them very slowly, but we make them suffer for refusing to be our slaves.
This is who our government is saying is our greatest ally. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, are you okay being a cash cow? Are you okay just being a resource for another country? Are you okay with being used as a tool? That's exactly what Benjamin think you are. And for anybody who can read this or hear this and say, hey, no, that's not the case, you're blind, you're deaf and dumb.
All right, so that was Isaiah's opinion on it. And what do you think about that? That was in 1990 that was written or said.
Okay, I mean, was it verbally said? Is there I'm just asking because I like when they show like a write-up of what somebody supposedly said, but they don't have the audio.
That was the write-up.
I know. Where's the audio of it? There was no audio.
No, there was no audio. He had to read it.
I know what I'm saying though, Brian, is I could have put your face up there and said you said that, but where's the audio of you saying that?
I'm glad that you think that way. I really am. So it looks like I don't think BiBi Netanyahu has the best interest in mind, no matter what, and that's because I've looked into him enough. But I think it's not going to be hard to convince you of that either. So I'm glad that you see the defensive side because I think everyone should be skeptical of what they see. Period.
Yes.
I'm not going to argue that. So I agree with you. I'm not arguing that.
No, hey, I'll if I can see, I'm trying to come in your screen there and I can't. Not CUM, but COME. And I'm trying to come over there and sit in your lap. Not in a weird way, but I believe that too.
I think I got it.
I don't trust him. I'm glad I gave. See, you said in prison I wouldn't be that sexy. But anyway,
well, you my age. I'm talking about a younger guy.
Dude, I'm a sexy beast. Anyways, I don't trust him either. the more I see, and the more this whole Iran thing. Who you think started this?
We're gonna get there too.
You think Trump did? I'm just asking.
No, I don't. But like I said, we're gonna get there.
I think it's BiBi. I think BiBi's pushing it.
Well, yeah.
They've been foaming at the mouth, and Trump's like, yeah, all right, let's do it.
Well, this is BiBi. This is how we need So it's you need us, BiBi. We need us. This is from Freedom 7711.
Said Mike that we are fighting today the battle that the Maccabees fought. They fought for the survival of the Jewish people and the Jewish faith against an enemy that wanted to extinguish us, wipe us out from the face of the earth. We were fighting our battle, but we were also fighting the battle of civilization, because our civilization is based on the Judeo-Christian tradition. And if the Maccabees had failed, there'd be no Judaism, there would be no Judeo-Christian civilization, there would be no Maccabees. There would be no United States. There wouldn't be the civilization of freedom, the respect for our common traditions, our common values. All of that would not happen if it weren't for those 5 brave brothers. They actually made the whole difference. So that spirit animates these brave soldiers that are here today, and their comrades who are fighting in Gaza or in Lebanon or in Iran, wherever is necessary to not only preserve the Jewish nation and the Jewish state, but preserve civilization against the barbarians. The barbarians are out there. They did a horrible thing to us on October 7th. They'll never do it again. But they're doing it against Jews in Sydney and Jews elsewhere in America and elsewhere. This is our common battle against the barbarians. We have won it here. We're winning it here. We'll win it everywhere. Chag Sameach, Chag Chanukah Sameach לכולכם. תודה רבה לכם. תודה רבה.
Yeah, without him, we don't have the U.S.
Dude, they're prideful people. They're the Bible speaks of that. They are prideful people, and due to their pridefulness, they if you read in there, they denied Jesus because they were expecting a great warrior to come lead them into victory, not the son of a carpenter and the son of a virgin, huh?
No, I agree with that statement too. I mean, they are very prideful people. Having said that, I don't think they're powerful enough to do anything without us, period. And that's why they do everything they can to manipulate and control whoever's powerful at that moment. They're almost like the tick that gets on someone and just rides them out until they find another fucking source to get on.
Right. They're the predator, but they need the prey to get through life. And we're the prey.
Yeah, well,
it's like a narcissist. A narcissist has to have somebody they prey on. A narcissist can't survive and be who they are without somebody supporting them. And here's the deal. The person that they go after usually has the strength and the ability not to be done like that, but they just, after a while, it's the manipulation and all that stuff that happens that they get trapped.
Yeah.
You see, we're their bank, dude. We're their bankroll.
With a bank in their muscle.
Yeah.
They're the intelligence. I'm not going to say that. I mean, they have some great intelligence, and everything I hear is, very special about them. I'm sure they got some great fighters. They just don't have enough of them.
Yeah.
And they don't have the power we have. So they need someone powerful to swing that
if we were smart enough and cut them off, we could take them out pretty easy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we would, again, but why do people protect Israel? So if you blow up Israel, you become the devil.
Yes. I told you that's what I said, because it's really because of the Bible, because of it's being misconstrued.
So would you consider that a war on your mind?
Yes.
All right. So
they manipulated us to think that Israel itself is the Israel of the Bible. And we talked about it in Sunday school last week, because I brought it up. I said, hey, because me and you've been talking about it, right? And I'm not trying to go against, I know what I know, and I believe in what I believe, right? I'm convicted. I believe in what I do, and I don't care if anybody on here agrees with me or not. I know what I believe in, and I've seen the good Lord work in mysterious ways and miracles and seen him take cancer out of my wife's body. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think we're being misconstrued about Israel itself. I believe we are Israel. Once you become a Christian, you are Israel. Once you accept the Lord, you're Israel.
So I guess we would be the host, kind of like on Venom. Whenever
I guess.
Yeah, you know how
I've never seen
Oh
Venom.
my God, you got to watch Venom.
Okay,
right.
well then you watch my movies and I'll watch yours. But anyways, yeah,
right.
here
So
you are. Oh my God, you got to watch.
You got to
that.
watch
I'm
Venom.
like,
Venom is fucking awesome. Venom is
I
like
know.
it's like the alien version of Deadpool.
Okay, well,
It's really good.
It's Tom Hardy, isn't it?
Yeah, and I didn't even know the guy until I watched that, and he was really good in that movie, in both of them, or
Okay.
maybe three of them now. Well, anyway,
But anyway,
the reason I was asking you about, go ahead. Do you want to finish your statement?
It's just, I think Israel isn't a country. I don't think it's people. Don't get me wrong. Just like a church, okay? You think church is down the road at 300 Main Street. That's not church, Brian. If you read your Bible, that is not church. Church is
exactly what you said is what I agree with.
Yes,
I don't go
church
to church
is not a
because of
building.
what you said.
It's not a building. It's the people.
Yep. And
That's
you can
church.
be church anywhere.
Read Acts in the Bible. Go read Acts. That's church. And that's what we do Friday night at my buddy's house. That's church. That's how Acts Church was in homes, not in a big building that had to have money and a budget and all that. And anybody that catches me at church watching this, I'm sorry, it's in the Bible. So if you want to argue with me, we'll get the Bible out and start reading. And you can read Letters to the Church by Francis Chan that'll tell you he was a big mega church dude. Not getting churchy here, but sorry, I'm gonna preach just for a sec. Just let me have this for a second.
Let it out.
He was a big mega church guy, right? Making a lot of money. Had a big old church, one of them big churches, right?
Yeah, a big old thing.
Yeah, big old thing. And guess what? God hit him with, listen, God hit him with, if you walk out of this thing falls.
What falls?
It was never about me. Yeah, it was never about me. It was about you. That's why them people are here. They're not there for me. They're there for you. And that's wrong. And he had to slowly step down, and he pulled out and he went over to China and got away and actually went to underground churches where people were being killed if they got caught going. And he was seeing miracles all the time because of faith, right? People's faith that big. And he'd seen what church really is. And when he came back, guess what they did? They did home churches. There's no budget. There's no money. They're training people to go out on the streets and minister to other people, but they have their own jobs. They have their own full-time jobs. So we're not worried about money and all that stuff. And that's what I'm getting at. Church is a business. Look at the tax write-offs. Look at all this other stuff, dude. It's corrupt. You open my eyes with the NGOs. They're using Christianity to go into Korea and spy. I mean, come on. They're using it for, that's just one example.
It's amazing how many people hide behind religion.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It is. And I truly believe he's going to have his way with that. And Lord help them people that do that and have done that. Yeah, they're getting theirs right now, but this is just passing, man. It's a blink of an eye, dude. Even if you live to be 103, it was a blink of an eye. Look at how fast every day goes by, Brian. Every week flies by. I'm telling you, it does for me. I wake up Sunday. Next thing you know, it's Friday morning. My weekend flies by. I'm back to work Sunday. And it's just flying by every year. Fly by. And it'll be quick, and I'll take my last breath. Yes.
You're a slave for the machine.
I'm a slave. Yes, I'm a slave for the machine. But guess what? They're getting theirs. I'll get mine. I know, because I truly believe where I'm going. And Israel to me is BiBi could be the Antichrist for all I know, because I don't think he's a good dude. I really don't.
No, and we're gonna see more of that. All right, so this next guy, this is a young guy, and I don't know him. I don't know his name. I got this from it's called Your Favorite Guy on TikTok.
Yes.
And this guy I want you to listen to what he's saying and see where he's at and see if you draw the same thing away from this as I did. Let's check this out.
And the way I see it is that this is a war online. The activism we are all engaged online, the things we say about Palestine, criticism of Israel online, even if you are not posting, if you are just engaging, you are participating in this war. Israel calls it their 8th front. They're engaged in 7 physical fronts on the ground, attacking aggressions against all of their neighbors. And as of January last year, they officially endorsed the 8th front, the digital front, the war of propaganda, the information war, the war on the American people's minds specifically as official doctrine. You know, this was spearheaded by the ADL's Jonathan Greenblatt, a Zionist agent operating in the United States. And he went to the Knesset in January last year where he urged them, he had one goal, adopt the 8th front as official doctrine. He said capturing TikTok, which the ADL was behind, the forced sale of U.S. TikTok, was critical in this 8th front. Changing how Wikipedia reports on Palestine was another aspect of this. So you see Netanyahu adopt this rhetoric very quickly in his speeches. He comes to the United States last year to talk to his fleet of American influencers, the ones that are being paid $7,000 a post. And he tells them, you know, he's giving them a lesson, and he's like, what is the most important thing for Israel's 8th front? What's the most important purchase? And he goes, TikTok. TikTok, number 1. Israel was behind the forced U.S. sale of TikTok because they could not bear that it made the American public waver their unconditional support for their genocidal nation for the first time in history. You know, Zionists identified very quickly and very early on that ensuring the backing of an empire, first the British and then the American, was essential for the stability of their project. And so when the videos of the genocide started to go viral and the billions of views on TikTok shortly after the genocide began, you know, this was a massive problem quickly identified by Israel. And I think our side needs to take it just as seriously. As Jonathan Greenblatt says, deadly serious. We are soldiers in this digital battleground, and we need to act as such.
طيب يعني في هذه الحالة
What you think?
So, I mean, I'm a little indifferent to the Palestinian thing because, you know, I was over in Iraq for a year and a lot of guys were and girls. No pun intended there. I say guys for, to me, that's gender neutral in the military. You know that. We just say guys, hey guys. And if there's a girl there, we mean you come too. But anyways, I know hanging out with some of them Muslims that were riding with us, right? We had Egyptians and other Muslims from other countries that were riding civilian trucks with us and talking with them. And I mean, I know what that what their Quran says and all that stuff. And, you know, it speaks heavily against killing the infidel and all that stuff too. I'm telling you right now, the Old Testament, yeah, God used to command people to wipe other armies out, including women and children. You know, in the New Testament, there's none of that.
You know what I heard?
What?
The war on our mind, the war on the information. That's what I heard. I didn't care about who killed Palestine or Palestinians or any of that stuff. They're trying to control everything that you hear and say because of shit that happened. Because it was awful October 7th. You know, it was. But now that they had October 7th and they started just killing all these people and it woke people up to, hey, look, you know, maybe they're not as good as, you know, clean as they said they were. And now it's like, oh God, we got to shut that shit down. And this dude is sitting somewhere overseas. This is a kid. And he's telling these people exactly what he believes or what he thinks is true or what is the truth, however you want to look at it.
Yeah. I mean,
it takes some balls.
It does. I mean, he had a lot of Arabics in there. You could tell they had their headdresses on and all that stuff and their man dresses. And
here's the other thing. Go ahead.
I understand. And yes, they all want to get on there. They all want to save face. They all want to keep that social media is really opening up a lot of stuff for people. It's exposing things. You see what it exposes, and then now you got to get in there and get your narrative in there and try to get people to take your side again. And, they're having to change their game up a little bit, somewhat. We say that, but then we turn around and talk about the Fast and Furious thing, that they continue doing stupid stuff until we say we're not going to take it no more. But go ahead.
So when this guy said that, I wanted to know what he was exactly talking about. So watch.
Right.
This is BiBi Netanyahu.
Christian influencers. Okay. He said, he talked about the woke right. He said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant. The woke Reich, because these people, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're but they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community. They're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one? That's most important. X. X. That's very good. And, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight. Okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpart? Yes.
So there's
I
BiBi
told you
saying,
I don't trust. Yeah, I don't trust the dude.
You can't.
No.
And you're going to try. Well, I'm not done with him yet. You're going to see. Yeah. I'm going somewhere with this.
And hey, I want to let you know right off the rip, let her rip Tater Chip. And I know you're going to, but at no time are you offending me with him. Because like I said, he's not Israel to me. Israel is
I'm not even trying to offend you.
It's a biblical concept. Yes.
What I'm trying to do tonight is I just want to show people who he is. I don't know who he is. This is just shit I found, and I'm sure he could be a great dad, great uncle, I don't know this guy.
He ain't sounding like it, is he?
No. And I'm just going through, some videos I found, and I'm going to play a story out, and you make your own decision. I'm not here to tell you what to believe or where to go. I'm just showing you some information that I have and which convinced me on the things that I'm convinced about. And whatever you do with it, you do you, so, and not just you, Jason. I mean, I'm just talking about everyone. Just do what you want with this information. If you don't like it, just let us know. But I want to start talking about this. And I think in order to talk about this, we need to see who's the leader of this first. And so I figured I'd bring this information in. And so next time I'll bring in Jeffrey Sachs. He's a renowned American economist, professor at Columbia University, and a global leader in sustainable development. He is recognized for his work in reducing extreme poverty, fighting diseases, and combating climate change. Sachs has been a special advisor to the 3 United Nations Secretaries General. So here is David Sachs on Israel. I'm sorry, here's Jeff Sachs on Israel.
Well, whose Sachs are we watching?
We're watching Jeffrey Sachs. We're watching Jeffrey Sachs.
We're watching his Sachs? Okay, Jeffrey Sachs.
Jeffrey Sachs.
They will own TikTok shortly, TikTok USA, because Larry Ellison is buying it on behalf of Benjamin Netanyahu, and Ellison will give it to his son as a nice gift. He's already given to his son Paramount Studios, Paramount Media, and CBS News. It's quite a world. And that's just 10 or so Americans. So we're in a very strange concentration of power, I think the likes of which we've never seen before. It has already destroyed democracy. We are democratic in form only, but we don't have a sensible non-democratic system.
Okay. So that's Jeffrey Sack.
Mhm.
And he talks about Larry Ellison. Do you know who Larry Ellison is?
Mm-mm.
Would you like to learn a little bit about Larry Ellison?
Yeah, let's. So Ellison's the one that bought TikTok or is buying TikTok or bought it.
Yes, through his companies, yes.
Okay.
And you're about to see what else he bought. So this is a way
Some
for
hookers and
Israel
blow.
to control
my bad. Sorry.
huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
So this is a way for Israel to be able to control the narrative. You know.
Right.
So let's see who Larry Ellison is.
I don't think you understand who's about to own Warner Brothers, the godfather of a family that already has an insane amount of power. It just doesn't get much more deep state than Larry Ellison. The CIA, Israel, let's dive in. See, Larry Ellison didn't start Oracle in a garage like Apple or Google. He started with a classified government project. While he was working for Ampex Corporation in the mid-1970s, Ellison and his co-founders worked on a relational database for the CIA. The internal code name for the project was Oracle. And then in 1977, he left Ampex to start his own company and received special permission from the CIA to use the name Oracle. And then the CIA in turn became his first ever customer. So he started as a CIA puppet. And today, Oracle provides cloud computing services to the national security regions for secret and top secret data. And so it's no surprise that he's been a vocal advocate for mass surveillance of citizens. He said that citizens would, quote, be on their best behavior if they knew they were being monitored. Now to Israel. Ellison's relationship with BiBi Netanyahu is considered one of the most significant billionaire politician relationships in the history of the world. Ellison owns, controversially, 98% of the Hawaiian island of Lanai. And in 2021, he let Netanyahu and his family vacation there. And then that same year, he offered Netanyahu a seat on Oracle's board for $500,000 a year. He also pushed his billionaire friend to release his lawyer so that that lawyer could defend Netanyahu instead. See, Ellison is the reason that Israel has a booming tech industry. He is their bridge to Silicon Valley. And it goes much further than his relationship with Netanyahu. Also in 2021, a lot going on that year, Oracle built a massive underground cloud data center in Jerusalem. The thing is 4 floors below ground and is designed to withstand rocket attacks and even biological warfare. It's the digital backbone for the entire Israeli government and military. Ellison is also one of the largest donors to the Friends of Israel Defense Forces. He's given them over $26 million. And Oracle's current CEO, Safra Katz, is an Israeli American. And she stated that Oracle's support for Israel is a core tenet of the company. Ellison is also one of the backers of Trump's digital currency, which now essentially operates as a U.S. Treasury digital note. And he's, of course, a longtime Republican donor and the primary supporter for the super PAC for Marco Rubio. The Marco Rubio situation is starting to slowly become clearer if you watch some of my previous videos. And now this man and his family are about to own CBS News, Paramount, Nickelodeon, MTV, Showtime, Comedy Central, BET, CNN, HBO, Warner Brothers, Discovery Networks, and DC Entertainment, probably ruining my beloved Batman and Superman. And on top of all of it, he's partly responsible for the financial backing of Jeffrey Epstein. I feel like I'm starting to sound like Alex Jones, but this is all 100% truth. I don't know if any of our leaders at the highest levels are being honest with us. This just goes so far back and so deep. These disgusting, corrupt people have manufactured much of our society. Point it out if you see something that I don't, but I don't see any way to salvage this. How are we supposed to trust anyone? And the scale of the needed unraveling is just overwhelming. Fall of the Roman Empire kind of stuff. Now, if there is hope in all this, just remember that this is only a small number of rich monsters, even though they have a lot of money. They wouldn't last a day in our world. And so we need to somehow use our collective power to bring them back to Earth.
So that was Truth Tony bringing us that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Truth Tony. He be bringing the truth.
So that was Larry Ellison.
Dude, hey, tell me, here's the deal. I mean, if anybody's asking why the files, I guess we'll be getting more into some Epstein stuff because we just can't get enough of Epstein, and kind of like his clients couldn't get enough of Epstein Island. But my bad, that was a bad joke. But anyways, dude, I think that cat was actually used to get people, right?
Talking about Epstein?
Yeah. Services and all that stuff in order to put hooks in them to control them.
With Ellison, see, I think we're missing the bigger picture. Epstein was just somebody.
Yeah.
You know, he was just somebody in the game also, like Ellison.
Yeah.
I mean, why does BiBi Netanyahu have his finger on the pulse of Larry Ellison, who's very big, you know, owns a lot of communications channels, right? Now he owns TikTok.
Right.
And so we have all this stuff. We know BiBi Netanyahu wants to be in the digital war, you know, for misinformation.
Yep.
And
start manipulating us. Yeah.
And now we're striking Iran. And why? I mean, why are we striking Iran? Why are we? How many countries are around Iran? And if Iran's a fucking problem, why aren't they striking Iran?
Brian, they were telling us when we were over in Iraq and the IEDs and the Taliban and all that stuff that were coming over there, and you know that wasn't Iraqis that were taking up arms and being urban warfare. You know what I'm saying? Because there wasn't no soldiers. We weren't fighting soldiers over there. We weren't fighting people in uniform. We were fighting. You didn't know who it was. You see what I'm saying? You were just receiving gunfire. It wasn't an army versus an army. It wasn't conventional military battle like World War II, where you had the Nazis or the Germans and the Americans and the Japanese and you know what I'm saying? And Italians and whoever, Austria or whoever sided with Germany and allied with them. Those people wore uniforms. And we wore uniforms, and our allies wore uniforms. You see what I'm saying? Iraq wasn't like that. And guess what we were being told? That where a lot of them were coming from? Iran.
Okay. Again, so why don't the people around them, if Iran's such a problem, why they don't fight Iran?
That's what I'm getting at. We were being told that, Brian, so we keep. Now it's just being embedded in us. Now, I'm not saying the Ayatollah dude wasn't a bad person. I think he really is. Does he deserve to die?
I don't care if he dies or not. Why do we have to be there is my whole question.
That's what I'm getting at, because they have told us that they're bad, Brian.
So why do we have to be there? I don't care how bad they are. I don't give a fuck if the devil was over there. If the devil's over there.
Because did Trump not tell you in his speech the reason why we're over there and doing what we're doing? Because they pose a threat to America and Americans.
How? Okay, yes. Every fucking country poses a threat to us.
Yes.
Every fucking country on this planet.
You're asking how because they keep telling us that they are. Every bad thing that's ever happened over in Iraq or any of that area over there to American soldiers getting killed, Americans getting killed, the Jews with Palestine and all that stuff.
I get that.
It's all backed by Iran. But Iran's got their finger on everything, so we need to go take them out. That's what.
If you was the devil, all right,
yes,
and everybody in your neighborhood knew you were the devil,
yes,
why would I have to go to your house to kill you?
because they need us.
You know
They
what
need
I'm
our
saying?
weapons. They need our weapons and our military is why.
No, you cannot make me believe that Saudi Arabia don't have enough money, that Kuwait don't have enough money to build what they need to protect themselves, is my whole point. They depend on us to protect them. That's why they have money.
Yes. That's why
why
we're
do
broke.
that's why we're broke.
Okay.
So why
okay,
do we need hold on, let me ask you a different way.
I got epiphany in my head. Go ahead.
Why are our kids their lives less important than their kids' lives?
Because they got money and we don't.
No, I ain't talking about the politicians. I'm talking about the motherfuckers that live next to Iran.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Because if
we're everybody's protector.
If Iran's a threat to us, they're a threat to everybody around them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
They have to be, because there's no way they have to get over them to get to us.
Yes.
So why are our kids' lives not worth more than? I mean, that's their backyard that they're trying to protect. I just don't understand it. I don't give a shit how you say it or whatnot. We got more military. I don't care. How is it our problem?
They tell you it's our problem. You're asking a question and I'm answering. It's not right. I'm not agreeing. I'm not like, Brian, will you shut up? This is a good thing. We're going to prosper from this, man. Like, hey, let's scroll back up here. These trillions of dollars that are missing, they're coming to our pocket because it's war. War creates money.
Yeah.
It makes the economy boom.
Yep. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. It's not because they telling us it's bad. It's because of that. And that's what I'm looking for.
But they're telling us. They're fixing to pad their pockets, but they get America on board with this, telling us that they're a threat. They keep telling us and telling us and telling us until we believe it. You see what I'm saying? That's why
you saying the general public.
Yes.
Gotcha.
BiBi wants you on TikTok to sit there and think that all them Muslims are bad people. Not all of them are. Some of them are. And need to be
some
taken
of us
out.
are bad. Some Mexicans,
yes,
some
we are.
People, I mean, we all got bad people.
Yes.
But go ahead, do your epiphany. I'm sorry. Did I fuck up your epiphany?
Yeah, you done messed my epiphany done flew out my head.
Oh, sorry.
No, because I was like, where's he not understanding? We're being brainwashed that they're bad, that they're all bad, and we need to go after them because guess what? Hey, we need to get our mind off of these files, right? That everybody wants released. That's kind of weird, right? All of a sudden.
Oh, that we get Iran? They blow up Iran to take our minds off the files, is what you're saying? That's quite possible, yeah.
And we took this turban dude out, the Ayatollah.
Yeah, it pisses me off to no end because it's like our kids, their lives just aren't valuable. No. We'll fight any war for anybody. Why? Why are we over there? Because they're bad.
Trump even said, he said, I don't want to put anybody in harm's way, but we know that I can't promise that things happen. And, we're going to pray over the men and women for their safety, but they're putting their lives on the line. They're putting their lives like they're like, hey, President, like that God says, who will I send? Send me. No, they're not. They're not asking to go over there. They go over there because they're told to go over there. Because you're following orders.
And they're proud to be an American. They're proud to wear that uniform, and they're proud to serve. The problem is just like, you went overseas. I didn't go to war. But whenever they tell you to do something, you're just proud to fucking do it. You were part of something.
You don't question it.
No, so I'm not questioning those guys. It's like why are we
But they're not volunteering, Brian. They're not sitting there like, send me. I want to go.
Right.
I want to go.
Exactly. I want to go fight that for somebody else. That's what I
want to go
do.
die over there in a desert in a nasty suck place. That's where I want to go die, where I'm not near my family and I don't get to hold their hand. And and my family will never get to view me.
Every time I see a Tunnel to Tower fucking commercial or a Wounded Warrior commercial, I get pissed off because we should not need,
we shouldn't
have
that many
taking
wounded.
care. We should. That's first of all, we shouldn't have that many, especially for fucking wars that we had no business being in.
Right.
But having to have a nonprofit like that take care of our wounded is sad.
Asking for donations.
Yeah, it's sad. How many trillions we sending overseas?
Yeah.
How much money's being how many billions? We losing $1 trillion a year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we need a nonprofit to take care of our wounded. I mean, that's how great we are right now with how we taking care of our people. And I'm supposed to be happy that we're blowing up Iran?
Yeah. You're not ecstatic, Brian?
No.
Oh, I thought you were all giddy about this.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it coming. I mean, man.
I didn't see it coming. I haven't been watching the news, though.
Oh, well, they put the biggest armada they had over there. And then yesterday, Huckabee said, told all his people to get the hell out of Israel, basically. Yeah. So it's like, it's just a ticking time bomb now. Because whenever I wrote this yesterday, I was writing it as we might strike Iran. And I wake up this morning, I'm like, well, I can take that out.
Yeah, we might. Yeah. So this wasn't part of my epiphany, but who's to say we're not launching the missiles at Jordan and Saudi and to get them? Is somebody out there sampling? Or somebody out there taking DNA off? Yeah. Who's to say we're not doing that? Just like the World Trade Center, I'm not wanting to go down that rabbit hole, but who's to say that wasn't an inside job to get us to go to war because there was pockets to be fed?
There's always money, and we can go down that rabbit hole too. But
I know, but the way them buildings fell, that was a controlled. If you watch a demolition of a building where they take a building down around other buildings and never damage those other buildings, that thing went straight down to the ground. It didn't topple over.
I'm so glad that you graduate into the tinfoil hat.
Down. Hey, don't put me down. Next week I might put one on and look like a damn big Hershey Kiss up there, they did
when
on
you look into all this
that Mel
shit,
Gibson movie.
You just feel fucking crazy because the shit that makes sense, it's like how people don't see this, and everybody else thinks you crazy, and it's like, but
when I heard people say that before, I thought they were crazy as hell. But now that I see all the stuff that they're doing now and it's being enlightened, it's like that Fast and Furious. Yeah. We're just going to keep doing this shit. We don't care because they're still going to watch. They're still going to believe that we're doing this for the better of them. Yes. Yes. You go over there and serve your country there proudly there, boy.
Last month when they took Maduro from Venezuela, they had all these oil companies were supposed to go to Venezuela, and a lot of them balked. They didn't really want to go to Venezuela. I don't know if it's because of the thick crude or whatnot, but then last month I read an article in Politico, out of all things that I read, and it was talking about how the U.S. companies, are just ready to go to Iran should they have regime change. I mean, this was last month. These people were already gearing up, saying, we'll gladly go take their oil. Well, here's BiBi Netanyahu in 2002 on Iran. Check this out.
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. A third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is, while no one is watching, under the cloak, is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. So you have here now three nations. Not surprisingly, all three have been implicated in the past in terrorist activity using the clandestine means of terror and proxies. Now the question is, what's your next step? Knowing that three of these nations are developing nuclear weapons. This is not a hypothesis. It is fact. Iraq, Iran, and Libya are racing to develop nuclear weapons. So now what is the next step? I believe that the next step is to choose. It's not a question of whether you have to take action, but what kind of action and against whom.
Oh, labia.
It seems like he's been wanting to go to Iran for quite a while now. Huh?
Iraq, too. They're all sitting on a lot of, See, everybody thinks Saudi and Kuwait are like oil heavy. They got a lot of oil, don't get me wrong, but they said Iran and Iraq is where it's at. Where it's at. I got two turntables and a microphone.
They definitely want to go. I mean, they want that pretty bad.
Yeah, you said these oil companies are getting geared up for that. Like, go open the doors. We'll go over there. It's like Landman. You ever watch that series on Paramount? That's a good one. It's funny. Yeah, they're geared up like the power guys when the ice storm's coming. They get all geared up, the traveling power guys, and get headed down to the states that they're going to get at because they about to make that money. Show me the money.
They said they're pretty happy they can go to Iran, so I'm sure that had nothing to do with it either. And
yeah, it has nothing to do with the oil.
No, and check this cut out. This one, it seems like our presidents have the same priorities as BB. This is a great cut. This one's from Truth Teller 717. I'm sorry. Where are we at? What's the cut on this one? Cut 31.
The wars of the future are being planned here in Israel, The
government of Israel controls the United States.
Openly boasted about controlling the United States.
And telling people, point blank, just stating it, I control the United States. I control Donald Trump.
Benjamin Netanyahu is boasting that he can bring the U.S. along with whatever he does.
Especially today with America. I know what America is. America is something that can be easily pushed to the right direction.
Wow, America can be easily pushed. Even if that is true, it's insulting to hear out loud. And to be fair, BiBi has had a lot of success in pushing America.
If you take out Saddam, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq.
Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime.
Iraq, Iran, and Libya.
Today, I authorize the armed forces of the United States to begin a limited military action in Libya.
By the way, what are we doing with Greenland? We got to do something with Greenland.
We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not.
He's running around the Middle East, his region, and his own country, and telling people, point blank, just stating it, I control the United States. I control Donald Trump.
Israel has run American foreign policy in the Middle East for 30 years. That's how it works.
So, thoughts?
Is that your puppet master, or is there somebody above him?
There's someone above him. I'm pretty sure, and I've actually started looking into who controls the world. I mean, that is a big fucking
the Rothschild.
It's big, man, and I'm not ready to go down that right now.
That's probably them voices I hear in my headset every once in a while, dude. I tell you, I think they're listening to us, and you done put me somewhere I thought I'd never go in my life, but that's all right. I'm having fun on this journey.
Yeah. Well, this is one
we
thing.
We ride or die, dude. You're my ride or die, buddy. I'm
you saying,
being
man?
honest.
I am too. I don't know if you knew this. In 2024, Netanyahu had a speech in the U.S. Congress, and the speech was 52 minutes. And they estimate that he had between 50 and 58 standing ovations out of 79 total applauses. All right. The fucking speech was 52 minutes. So he's almost averaging a standing ovation every minute or a little more. I don't know if Trump had that many standing ovations the other night. And I got tired of watching it because they kept, applauding him. Why the fuck do we love this guy so much? He is in our country giving a speech in our house, and our fucking politicians are applauding him every minute of his speech.
Because people's pockets are getting padded. You think people at their houses were applauding and getting up and giving him standing? Probably some people, but I don't know.
You talking about BiBi or Trump?
Yeah, BiBi.
Yeah, I don't get this at all, man. I just don't. I mean, I understand people's pockets are getting padded. No, I don't understand. I guess I can. How we accept it is because we don't know it. I'm assuming that people know this, and I guess that's what I get for thinking into too much stuff. I just assume that people know things, and why these guys, why everybody is so in love with them. Again, and I'm not talking about Jewish people. That's the thing that they wanted to shut you up on. When you start talking about Israel, the first thing they want to say is you're anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Semitic. I don't give a shit. I mean, do what you want. Do you go to your own religion? I don't care. I mean, do you? I'm just talking about Israel as a whole. You know,
we're dogging on our
anyone.
government. We're not dogging on America. We're dogging on our government. We love America.
So yeah, but that's how they shut you down. Just like whenever you even if you had like you wanted to discuss racial relationships or relations, the first thing they're gonna say is you're a racist because they want to shut you down. They want to shame you, and it's like no, that's not even what I'm trying to talk about. You need to be more not that educated. You need to be more mature in your conversation to where you're not just shouting me down. That you're actually going to have a conversation with me, because that's all they rely on is just being louder than you and just calling you names. It's like you can't have a conversation with people. This is a guy we had on multiple times, and I just wanted to give him a better background on him. John, I think his name is like Kiraku or something like that. And like I said, we watched him multiple times. He's a former CIA counterterrorism officer and analyst from 1990 to 2004. He became a whistleblower for confirming in 2007 that the CIA used waterboarding on Al-Qaeda prisoners, or Al-Qaeda prisoners, however you want to say it, calling it torture and illegal. He was convicted in 2012 for disclosing classified information to journalists, specifically revealing the covert officer's name, and served 23 months in prison. So I figured I'd give you a little background before he gives you the information that you're about to get, so you'll have a little clarity on why I think he is a good person to get this information from. Check this out. All right.
Do you think Jeffrey Epstein was a spy?
I believe very strongly he was a spy, yes.
And who do you think he was working for?
The Israelis. I'm confident it was the Israelis.
Why?
Jeffrey Epstein is kind of the stereotypical example that they give you in training for what's called an access agent. This is a different kind of recruit. So, for example, if you're a foreign intelligence service and you want information, like close-in information from a former president, from the CEO of the biggest company in the world, from a member of the British royal family, you're not going to recruit these guys. You're not going to recruit Bill Clinton or Bill Gates or Prince Andrew. So you do the next best thing. You recruit somebody who has regular access to them. And that person that you recruit is going to need to make these people feel comfortable and appreciated. And so you give him plenty of money. So he has this house on an island, or he has the whole island. And maybe you bring in young girls, you get them in compromising positions, just in case you need to use what's called compromat, compromising pictures. We know now that Jeffrey Epstein's house on the island had video cameras, hidden video cameras, in literally every room, including the bathrooms. Why? Why would he care what was going on, unless it was to use that information against people? As I said, only the Israelis and the Russians use extortion as a motivator.
So you think he was a spy?
We already talked about that. We're pretty sure he was one.
I think he was.
And like I said, dude, you have to get dirt on people, Brian, to control them.
Okay. And then
I think they lured these guys. I think they lured these people in, the politicians, the people on that list or whatever. If there is a big list out there, like the Clintons and all that, I think they lured all them people in for power and all that. And I think that there was probably some satanic stuff going on there, and you know what I'm saying, demonic.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was they talking about that pizza. You played that that was last week, right? That pizza and all that stuff. And yeah, and I think it kind of referencing to what we think is talking about actually eating children or infants or whatever.
No,
like cannibalism
cheese
and
pizza. We're gonna go over that later, but the cheese pizza is like little girls and shit.
Yeah, so it's all like satanic, like demonic rituals and stuff like that. And I think because I want power. Like I think Camp Williams talks about it. People in Hollywood selling their soul to the devil for fame and fortune and all that. And he's not using that as a saying like, oh, you sold your soul to the devil, didn't you? Because you're that good. He's actually being like, oh, brother, where art thou? You've watched that movie, right?
Yeah.
With the black kid playing guitar, actually sold his soul to the devil in order to play that good. And he tells them that. You know, he signed a contract with Satan to be able to play guitar as good as he did. Because people are more worried about here than they are after here. So anyways, they got all this dirt on these people. You can't just let them do this and not have dirt on them. You have to, you can't let them get a conscience and be like, you know what? I messed up. I got to back out. I'm going to raise my hand and blow this whole thing up. I'm going down with them, but
no, it's
I'm
blood in, blood out, man.
Blood
we done
out.
talked about the gangsters.
You're done. Yeah, you're done. You're in there. You're done. You're not getting out. And that's what I'm getting at. They got so much dirt. I guarantee the nastiness, dude, not the sickest, nastiest crap. Two girls in one cup don't even come close. The donkey shows down in Mexico don't come close.
The stuff I read is pretty disgusting.
To the crap that these people were doing, like people like in our government were doing, and movie stars and all this stuff. I guarantee you, man, it don't even, our minds can't fathom the how bad the stuff they did.
This stuff I read through that I won't even talk on this podcast about.
Yes, but you see what I'm saying? It is so, you're locked in. We were talking about ride and die with me and you. It's ride and die with them.
That's a little different. They ain't got no choice. It's just, you know.
Yeah, you're done. Once you had a taste, you're in it. They got pictures. They got everything. They will take down generations if the good Lord don't come back soon. Generation after generation after generation of anybody with your DNA will be shunned. You know what I'm saying? You will.
If they don't just kill your whole bloodline.
Yes. Something like that. Yeah. Either kill you or you will never, like, we will release so nasty stuff that people will remove you from their lips. You will never even be, nobody will ever know you were a congressman or an ex-president or something. You'll be like, yeah, what law do we have to do to impeach? It's not an impeachment of Bill Clinton to go back and it's wipe him off the books. We're that ashamed that man was ever held that office and what he did.
Now,
and like we said, we truly believe that Trump didn't do anything, that he raised his hand and said, okay, this is it. I can't stand it. I'm not, nope, you guys are done. And he did. He shut it down. I think he did shut it down. And that's what them girls said. He helped us. I believe that's how he helped them. But he is being controlled, man. He's being controlled.
Well, Epstein's lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, he's an American attorney, constitutional law scholar, and an author known for his work in criminal law. He was a former Harvard Law School professor, becoming the youngest in its history at age 28. He's famous for defending high-profile clients like Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. So here's Alan Dershowitz on if Epstein was Mossad. Check this out.
Could it be that Jeffrey Epstein just had a completely different life that he just did not tell you about? And it may also have included being a spy. I mean, clearly.
Telling me that he worked for the Mossad would have given him a get-out-of-jail-free card. I could have gotten him no jail time. If he had told me he worked for the Mossad, for the CIA, it would have been a slam dunk for me to go to whoever I had to go to, even up to the President of the United States, and I would have gotten him a deal with no time at all.
Hang on a second. You mean if he'd said he was working with the Mossad or CIA, then he would get off being a pedophile?
That's right.
All right. So he didn't work for Mossad because he would have got him off. He wouldn't have served any jail time. Well, one of the good things is, I mean, we haven't seen any arrests, but we are starting to see some of the dominoes fall from the Epstein Files. I don't know if you've seen that the Obama era White House counsel, Kathleen Rummel. She resigned from Goldman Sachs last week, and just days later announced on February 25th, former Harvard President and Treasury Secretary Larry Summers is stepping away from his longtime faculty role at Harvard. So let's look at both of them. In a recap for continuity, Kathleen Rummel, she was a former Obama White House counsel from 2011 to 2014, and then later she worked for Goldman Sachs as the chief legal officer. And she was on thousands of pages from 2014 to 2019 in the Epstein Files, with terms, affectionate terms like Uncle Jeffrey and Sweetie, and luxury gifts that she got, personal banter, PR advice, and lawsuits and shit. Epstein called her after the 2019 arrest, and she resigned February 12th, 2026, effective June 30th. And Goldman Sachs I didn't know what Goldman Sachs was, so I had to look it up. It's the leading global investment banking, securities, and investment management firm headquartered in New York City. It was founded in 1869 and provides a broad range of financial services to a diversified client base, including corporations, financial institutions, governments, and individuals. The firm is widely considered one of the most prestigious and influential names in global finance. All right. So the market capitalization of Goldman Sachs is approximately $276.5 billion as of February 26. The annual revenue reported at $58.28 billion for fiscal year ending December 31st. That's representing an almost 9% increase year over year. And they manage assets totaling $2.5 trillion in recent reports. So it's a pretty powerful firm. And they employ 46,500 people across 60 cities worldwide. So she was with a pretty prominent company in a pretty prominent position. And she just resigned. And here's a little bit about Kathleen Rimmer. Check this out.
You know, Tucker's another guy who has been very deliberate about all this. He was never one to jump on rumor. He was always one of the guys who demanded to see evidence before he took a position. And I think even he is shocked by what has been released. And, you know, there are a million other little strings that haven't been pulled yet. Don't forget, there are still reportedly between 3 and 3.3 million documents that have not yet been released.
Yes.
That Pam Bondi has said won't be released. She's going to defy a bill passed 419 to 1 in the House and 99 to nothing in the Senate and signed by the president. And she's just going to say, no, I'm not going to do what the bill commands me to do and release these documents.
Do you think she's saying that, or that's coming from above her?
It has to be coming from above her. It has to be. One of these little strings that I've been trying to focus on involves Catherine Remler, who was the Obama administration's White House counsel.
11,500 emails.
First of all, what the fuck, right? Like, does she do nothing all day long as the White House counsel other than chit chat with Jeffrey Epstein? Number one. Number two, there's one email that she sent him saying, John Brennan, the CIA director, gave me the CIA's highest honor today. Pretty cool, huh? Or pretty great, huh? And then she tries repeatedly to set up a lunch between Jeffrey Epstein and John Brennan. Why? To what end? And there's a bigger question here too, and that is, what kind of judgment did these people exercise? This woman is supposed to be the president's personal legal advisor, his personal attorney. And this is what she's doing. And I have a theory that I'm confident about. Why would she be so close to John Brennan of all people? Because every Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock, John Brennan chaired the kill list meeting And we know that the kill list committee was chock full of attorneys, White House, NSC, CIA, DOJ, just to make sure that, yeah, you can legally go out and just kill these people this week. And then we'll meet up again on Tuesday and come up with another list of people to kill. She was on the kill list committee. I'm confident of it. So she's either murdering people or she's chit-chatting with Jeffrey Epstein. Again, what kind of judgment do these people have? And then where did she go? She became the general counsel at Goldman Sachs.
That's right. That's right.
At least they had the presence of mind to say, you got to go. You can't survive this.
I will say this. They should have done that a few years
ages ago when it was first released that she was in touch with Jeffrey Epstein. You're
right.
absolutely right.
So that's Kathleen Rimmler.
Man, that's a lot of emails, dude.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, what was she doing all day? I mean, I'm gonna tell, like, if my work ever gets mad at me saying, what'd you do all day? At least I wasn't like emailing Jeffrey Epstein 11,000 times.
Oh shit. Yeah, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here.
All right, here's Mike Drop Barbecue on Obama at the top of the pyramid. Let's check this dude out.
What did I tell you? If you guys been listening, I got a video pinned on this channel. And I told you Obama's at the top of the pyramid. Now, guess who just resigned from Goldman Sachs? Obama's top attorney. Now, she was all in the files. I call them the Island Boy files, because if I say his name, they're going to end up kicking my video out and they won't put it into the algorithm. So I'm going to start calling him the Island Boy, and y'all know who I'm talking about. She was all in Island Boy's files. And now all of a sudden, it's getting to where the people around her are getting implicated because she's at Goldman Sachs, all about money. Island Boy was all about money and financing things. There's her name attached to a bunch of documents, and everybody in these documents will be researched. See, when Trump opened up the documents, he didn't really, all the people who were searching for names and dates and times and all that, it was all being logged. Everything was being logged the whole time, and now they're upset saying that Trump set them up. He opened the files up to allow us to search for everything and unredacted everything, but then he started finding out who was looking at what files. He set us all up. Why do you think Obama's top attorney, she dipped out, she bailed, resigned? Because I'm telling you, he is at the top of the pyramid. There's a lot going on. And right now he's pretty quiet about everything. You see, he don't talk about the files that often because he knows exactly what's going on. He can implicate himself. Then he's involved in perjury, things like that. His top attorney, she's out of there. I'm telling you, Trump he played a great chess game. He let everybody egg him on. Open the files, open the files, open the files. He unredacted it. Everybody ran to the files, and it was all digital. He did it online. Everybody was online looking up all the names and everything. They were tracking every single person who was looking up names and what names they were looking for, whether or not they were searching for, looking up keywords and statements. Everybody got set up. See, now, if Trump was in the files, don't you think they would have released something by now? He unleashed all the files. The DOJ had these files for almost a decade. Why is nothing about Trump out in the open? 10 years they had these files. Why is nothing about Trump out there? But all of these Democrats are in. I'm telling y'all, check out the video in my pinned comments. You won't understand what I'm talking about.
So you think Obama had anything to do with that? I don't know. I don't know exactly with him. You know, I put him in there because he had a different spin on it. And I'm not sure that the looking at the files thing, I've heard that when they went into the SCIFs to look at the unredacted files, the Congress or whatever, the ones that they would see it, that they were tracking those people who was actually looking at the files and what they were actually looking at. I don't know if they're actually doing that on the internet. I don't know. But I did hear, you know, with the Congress people. But it'd be interesting if it all goes all the way back to Obama.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of interesting. That's why I threw
man
that
that ran on change, and I never did see what change he was talking about.
No, he had me so when he first come out, I was like, yeah.
Oh, he was very well spoken, and I felt, oh, how do I say this and not come off this way? Because I'm just going to say it. I felt good for the black community that now we have diversity in the White House. Like, I love how the black comedians like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle and some of them said, I didn't care who it was. I wanted to get the first one in there. Next time we'll vote for the right one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I felt, man, he was very well. I ain't kidding. He was very well spoken. He could probably sold ice to an Eskimo. But dude, they're all, what am I learning through this podcast since we've been doing it? Where the money is some bad stuff.
Yeah. The other one that resigned was Larry Summers. Larry Summers, he was also went to Harvard. He was a Harvard president. He was also the U.S. Treasury Secretary in the Clinton era. His name appeared hundreds of times in files. Correspondence with Epstein spanned years post 2008 conviction up to July 2019, the day before Epstein's final arrest. Emails covered politics, economy, women, romance, visits to each other's homes. Epstein called a very good wingman in one exchange. Summers sought advice on pursuing younger colleague from Epstein. He was listed as successor executor in a 2014 draft of Epstein's will. Summers claimed no knowledge of that, but he was in the will. Harvard launched a review. Summers went on leave, stepped back from teaching and co-director role. Then he resigned. If I remember right, he's also, wasn't he also in Trump's latest or something with Trump? I don't remember. I thought I saw that somewhere with Larry Summers. But so he resigned from Harvard this week. So is this a start of a bigger wave from these files? I mean, you think you're going to see more and more names being resigning or arrested in the United States?
It's just crazy. It's like the low end. Is it going to do that? Is it going to start at the low end and work its way up?
I think it almost has to. It's like you got to start shaking the tree and then the weak ones fall out first. Yeah,
the low hanging fruit.
Just got to shake it, keep shaking.
They're going after the low hanging fruit like we do at work. We talk about that at work. Go after your easy stuff first, and then we go after the hard stuff after, right? So,
so hopefully
you get all the easy stuff. You show that you're making progress.
Yeah, that's it. It's hopefully they keep pulling strings from this stuff, and this starts to get further and further.
Unraveling. Yeah.
So hopefully next week we can talk about some more people that resign, some more people who feel a little pressure, and then we can keep moving.
Would that freak you out if you read up there Jason Hedrick resigned from his work?
Yeah, and be like, God damn, man, you had some money, didn't you?
Yeah. Were you on the Island Boys Island? Be like, no, dude, I just got tired of bull crap.
I was just maintenance.
Yeah, I just doing maintenance there.
Oh shit! Hey man,
huh?
You got something else to say on that subject? If not, we're gonna move on to something else.
No, move on. Right.
So you remember when Cash Patel was gonna get all the goods on Epstein?
Mm-hmm.
You Cash. So I found a bunch of.
Them big old eyes, dude. I can't even get my eyes to bulge out. I think he's got a thyroid problem or something.
Well, I found some clips from a few years ago, and then with Glenn Beck, and I cut them up, put them together. Watch, check this out.
So for instance, who is currently holding, this is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic school. We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game. That's why you don't have a black book
But the Black Book, it's not just sitting. I mean, that's Hoover power times 10.
And to me, that's a thing I think President Trump should run on. On day one, roll out the Black Book. And not just that. On day one, roll out all of the text message communications we were told were deleted. On day one, play the rest of the video of the pipe bomber. On day, one of the reforms I talk about in government gangsters is you need a central node to be continuously declassifying. This is another thing they do. They overclassify. And I'm telling you, as a former number 2 in the IC, they overclassify 50% of the stuff there to protect the deep state. Oh, no, you can't see that. Nothing to see here. Gina was a master at it, of doing it.
The only thing I care about is the scandal of the pedophiles. Day number 1, Kash Patel walks in. By the end of the day, it will be released.
Many months later.
What the left is saying, and some people now on his team are saying, he's in the report. With 15-year-olds? Really? Do you actually believe that? That's not Donald Trump. It's not Donald Trump. I don't believe that. That's no way that's true.
Oh, no, you can't see that. Nothing to see here.
What do you think's going on there, man? That's a complete role reversal, huh? Or change of mind, or
I guess he was wrong about his information during that talk, because now he's saying, man, there's nothing here.
Exactly. And that's why I quit watching Dan Bongino. Like when I was watching Dan Bongino before he went in the FBI, I mean, he would always tell us all this shit about these contacts that he had, and there was White Pipe Bomber was an inside job, and it was an inside Secret Service issue whenever Trump got shot in the ear, and he's telling us all, got to question everything. And then he gets in there, and then the pipe bomber's, some autistic guy, that delivers shit for Uber Eats or something. It's just some random shit. So my thinking is, okay, either his intel before he went in and he was just feeding us bullshit the whole time he was telling us the first time, because it was inside job, or he's lying now. So either way, I can't, he's compromised to me. I can't watch him anymore, And it looks like the same way as here. It's like once you go in the office, like you're saying, they get you. You're done. They got you. They hooked you by the balls. And
what's funny too with Dan Bongino is I was listening to him today or this afternoon before we got on here about the Iran thing, and he was bragging about Trump. I thought him and Trump got into it, and that's why he backed out.
Oh no, they really good. I think Trump wanted him to come back to radio to hope to bring all the people back together, because he had the Bongino army and he had a big following, and man, he lost a lot of people when he came back.
Yeah, but so you think, but Bongino made it look like he left because he was mad.
No, he didn't.
I could have sworn that he was infuriated with Pam Bondi. He went at Pam Bondi and
the first time that he was going to resign, yes, but he didn't resign then.
Oh, well, still, it looked like that there was a lot of beef going on up there. Like it wasn't exactly what he thought it was, and now all of a sudden he's back to bragging about it.
Yeah,
he didn't like the stuff they were covering up, is what I'm saying.
No, I agree. This is the problem I have. Is the guy that I thought Dan Bongino was, would be one that would not accept what
a straight shooter. Yes.
Right. So if he turned or if he changed his mind by anything, was it that he was just being fed wrong information, before he went in, which I don't know, or he learned when he got in there that you have nothing. I mean, they will do whatever they have to do to keep you in line. You will say what the fuck they want you to say.
Right.
That's the only thing I can think of, because it don't make any sense to me. I mean, before he went in there, I was 100% behind Dan Bongino. He had a lot of great information. He had a lot, and then when he came back, it was just all blowing smoke up President Trump's ass. And it's nothing against Trump. I mean, if you see what I have in my living room, I love Trump. It's nothing against him. It's just he was really selling it hard, and it was like, man, you're going a little overboard on that. So I watched a little bit of the first episode. I'm like, yeah. I can get it as his first episode back. He wants to get this shit out. Watched a little bit of the second episode, and he was still man, I can't watch this shit. You know, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't need you to keep blowing smoke up my ass. I want you to tell me what the fuck's going on. That's what I'm watching you for.
Yeah. Well, and he's kind of like the guy, like if you didn't trust something and you knew I was going in it, you were like, okay, well, I trust Jason and I know Jason's going to tell me the truth.
That's how I felt.
And then
with
I
Dan.
get in there and then you start hearing the BS coming out of my mouth and you're like, really, dude?
And don't get me wrong, Dan might be saying the truth about everything right now. I just don't feel like he is. So that's why I don't
either.
watch him. You know?
Yeah, I don't either. And it's same thing with Cash Patel. I thought he was going to be this open book, transparent dude, and now it's like the Charlie Kirk shooting, dude.
No.
Yeah, thanks for talking to us. Like gun owners, gun avid people that know guns, and you're going to say that.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm not getting into that any further.
You're dumb.
It's like
you're dumb.
You're
you don't know
stupid.
nothing.
Yeah. I know there's some people we ain't going to fool out there, but a majority of you are. And
They will.
For the people we're not, screw you. Yeah, they
will.
did. A lot of people bought into it. So shame on y'all.
There's this other
Go
guy.
buy a 30-06 and shoot a watermelon with it. See what happens. Anyways.
There's this guy I follow called Chaotic Concept. I don't know if you follow him. You do on our podcast TikTok. But anyway, I've been following for a while, and it was like, at first it was kind of like, I don't know. And then it's like he started opening my eyes to a lot of shit. And it's like, man, this dude got a little bit of shit with him. So check this out. This is a little take on Epstein.
With this whole Epstein thing, it's hard for people that have even done the research to understand how widespread this is. Now think of any advertisement you've seen from Sears, Nordstrom, Macy's. Besides the super famous ones, did you ever wonder where those models come from? This is Jean-Luc Brunel. He's a French modeling scout for one of the biggest international modeling agencies in the world. And one of Epstein's best friends.
He was a close confidant of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and a former French modeling agent facing charges of his own.
Yep, unlike most of the people we hear that are connected to Epstein, Jean here has a record of his own. Allegedly, that is, because while he was waiting for his court sentence, he passed away in similar fashion as his buddy.
Authorities believe the 75-year-old died by suicide. It comes less than 3 years after Epstein was found dead in a Manhattan prison under similar circumstances.
And here's something I want you to understand. Epstein was bad, but according to court documents, Jean-Luc was just as bad, doing the same things, but it was international, so nobody really heard about it. Now, the modeling agency, MC2, that Jean-Luc worked for, had modeling contracts with all of these different major corporations. It was almost fully funded by Epstein himself.
Jean-Luc Brunel. Can you spell it? I was at your house last week. Does that remind you? For mood strike, speculation, argumentative, harassing. Is there a question on the table? Yes, do you know him? Could you spell his name for me, please?
Now, even though he pleads fifth in that clip, the interesting part about that is Epstein isn't Jean-Luc's only friend. He was also best buds with Maxwell here. And according to some of the women involved with Jean-Luc's court case, he allegedly brought thousands of women to Maxwell and Epstein. Before I go, I want to introduce you to one more friend of Jean-Luc's, and that's this man, film director Brett Ratner. Director of the Rush Hour movies, Family Guy, and X-Men. And he also directed Melania, the documentary that came out earlier this year.
Here we go again.
And Jean-Luc wasn't Brett's only friend. There's also this picture here, even though Brett claims to not know how it happened.
Oh, well, did that that picture in particular happened around 20 years ago. 19, 20 to 21 years ago, because that is a photograph of my fiance who invited me to this event, and that's where the picture was taken. I had never been in contact with Jeffrey Epstein before that photo, and I was never in contact with him after. So that's a picture of me and my fiance at some event.
Well, so who was the fiance, if you don't mind me asking?
She doesn't want me sharing her name in the case, but that's my fiance, 100%.
100%, huh? Who are you trying to convince? Me or you? It's pretty crazy to think of all the people that could be involved with this, especially with all these names of these stores that we all recognize. And there's even claims that there's other agencies in places like Ukraine. But of course, that's just alleged. Y'all stay safe.
So what you think about that?
My fiance.
You think that was his fiance?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
and she don't want me sharing her name. Yeah.
So all those companies in there, they were owned by Les Wexner.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Leslie H. Wexner, to be exact. And if you don't know who that is, he owned like Victoria's Secrets, Bath and Body Works, Abercrombie and Fitch, The Limited, all this shit. Okay, he owned all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so his place was based in Ohio. He built an entire retail empire starting in 1963. As early as 2026, Wexner is under scrutiny regarding his former 20-year financial relationship with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who managed his money from 1987 to 2007, with Wexner alleging Epstein misappropriated vast sums from him. So basically, Epstein stole money from him. So he managed his account, all his money, for 20 fucking years. All right. So who is Leslie Wexner? Let's check this out.
Leslie Wexner shows Jeffrey Epstein, who had no financial resume of any public knowledge. This is one of the richest Jewish billionaires in America, running some of the biggest retail companies in America. And he doesn't just hire Epstein to do a little bit of work. He hires Epstein to run all of his shit in whatever way he wants, signing over power of attorney, which gives Jeffrey Epstein the authority to buy, sell, transfer, invest, divest, anything he wants on behalf of Leslie Wexner. There's a quote that comes back around all the time, that almost everyone at the Limited wondered who Epstein was. He literally came out of nowhere. So everyone was mystified as to what his appeal was, says Robert Morosky, a former vice chairman of the Limited. So rather than go and hire anyone qualified, he hires Jeffrey Epstein, who is literally a money launderer for weapons traffickers at the time, whose previous gig had been helping launder money for Adnan Khashoggi, one of the most famous weapons traffickers in the world. And that's the guy that Leslie Wexner decides to hire to take inventories of his furniture, hosting shows, telling people that he owned Victoria's Secret. This is not how you describe his job role. I was like, oh, I don't know. He was like counting how many forks were in my house. I never knew how many forks I had in my house. He's like, have you counted your chairs? It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, sometimes you need someone else to count your fucking chairs.
And so it was like, professional, I guess.
And he was filling a bunch of those properties with fucking underage girls that he was selling. Yes, it is unfair to ask your secretary to traffic children on behalf of Mossad to blackmail all the goy into doing Israel's bidding. That's what you would hire Jeffrey Epstein to do. Just my opinion. Just stating my opinion for the YouTube algorithm.
I just found out why Les Wexner's lawyers said this. Because just before that, he was saying all of this. And I mean, get ready, because this is wild.
I talked to Ellie de Rothschild, and so I mentioned that earlier.
For context, he's about to be talking about Jeffrey right here.
He represented their whole family, so there'd been a whole bunch of people. Most of them I never would have met, but I knew Ellie. But there were people that called me
that either insinuated or said they knew Jeffrey through a financial relationship. So, I mean, they could have been actors, but in the time, the guy calls me up. I'll give you an example.
His attorney tries to stop him right here.
It's just a because I want you to understand this. It's so confusing to me. He would say, like, I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google. I'm providing financial advice to Jeff Bezos. I'm providing financial advice for the chief technologist at Google. I'm in good company because these are really smart guys with a lot of money.
This is the best case scenario, really. They're all going after each other now. They're going after each other because they're throwing each other under the bus. And then they have nothing to lose. So they just say everything because they know it doesn't matter if they don't say anything. He knows it doesn't matter if his attorney does what he says he's going to do. I mean, this guy's old anyway. This guy just name dropped Jeffrey Epstein with the likes of Google, Jeff Bezos, and the Rothschilds. Yeah, I'd say he's probably in a situation where he knows that he has nothing to lose. And the thing with monsters is that they eat each other.
That's Leslie Wexner. Did you understand what the attorney was telling them?
Yeah, I think the attorney threatened to kill him.
Yep, that's exactly. If he answered with
I don't
more than
think he
5
was.
words.
Yeah, it wasn't like your wife saying, "Hey, if you do that again, I'm gonna kill you." No, I think he was. Yeah, I think, man, whew. That's powerful families, right? That when an attorney is threatening to take your life.
But if you,
and I think he meant it.
If you Les Wexner, how do you turn over your empire to Jeffrey Epstein? What makes you do that?
Because of who he's working for.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, he's probably like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm about to die anyway. You know, fuck them people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I don't know. But I think it was kind of odd that, you know, he gave him power of attorney over all of his businesses and shit like that.
Yeah.
You remember
it's crazy.
A while back, Roseanne Barr went crazy. Well,
did she go crazy?
She was saying a lot of crazy shit. And not that she went crazy, but she was saying a lot of crazy shit. And I got a little clip of her on with Tucker, and she starts talking about some crazy stuff. And this is her on Hollywood. But the biggest thing is it really starts off with, well, this one don't start off, but the whole video was in relation to Jim Carrey, when Jim Carrey went off at one of the award shows and started saying all that shit. So that's what it's in reference to. But Roseanne's the one that kicks it off. So I want to play this, and then I'm going to take you to another place, and then we'll move on to something else. So just give me a minute.
That is not bullshit. It's true.
So it's not just the dogs and the cats, not just the pets.
It's not just the dogs and the cats. They're full-on vampires. And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh, and they drink human blood. They do it. They say you can't wake people up that are pretending to be asleep, but I pray to God, please wake up even those who are pretending to be asleep with the irrefutable truth of what the worst people on this planet are really up to. They are really up to that. They're doing it. There are so many victims.
And then there is a long-standing conspiracy theory that Hollywood has been harvesting adrenochrome to stay young. Except that now, it isn't really a conspiracy theory anymore, because several emails in the Epstein Files proved that this was really going on.
For years, there has been a long-standing conspiracy theory that Hollywood and the elites harvest the blood of young people and transfuse it in order to reverse age. And now the Epstein Files might have revealed that that is in fact true. In this email to Jeffrey Epstein, it says, all you need is a blood transfusion from the pack and you reverse aging. This is where adrenochrome comes into play. It is a real chemical compound found in the blood when the body is in a fight or flight situation. And we know that the kids that were involved in Jeffrey Epstein's network were definitely put into fight or flight. And of course, we've seen Hollywood elites like Chrissy Teigen tweet about how they're going to a party where they're serving up 4-year-old cheese pizza with adrenochrome, and of course, the eye emoji. And according to the FBI code words, cheese stands for little girl and pizza stands for girl. Now back to the email. The subject is Dr. Agus, a professor of medicine and biomedical engineering at USC, pretty local to Hollywood. He is also the founding director and CEO of the Ellison Medical Institute. You know, the medical institute funded by Larry Ellison, the new owner of TikTok. And he's also hosted a Paramount show with big celebs like Ashton Kutcher and Oprah Winfrey. If you know, you know. And I think that Hollywood and the elites have been using predictive programming to get us used to this idea. Take Monsters, Inc., for example, where a bunch of monsters go into little kids' rooms to get them to scream, harvest those screams, and then provide energy for the city of monsters. Except in reality, the monsters are a little less cartoon-like.
Now, when it comes to these rituals being perturbed after the Grammys, Jim didn't give much info about it, but people believe that it's been happening for a while, especially because of how Whitney Houston died. You see, when Whitney died, the man who was supposed to be her mentor and father figure went on to have his annual Grammys after party just hours after she passed. And the worst part is, he did it in the same building she had literally just died in. You cannot tell me that this doesn't scream demonic. Even Shaka Khan called him out on this, and as she should, because when you think about it, it really doesn't make any sense. Why was it so important for him to still have that party? Unless, of course, there was more to it that we don't know about.
What could motivate a person to have a party in a building where the person whose life he had influenced so enormously and whose life had been affected by her? I don't understand how that party.
As usual, people had their thoughts, like this person who said, bro, every single lucid celebrity was trying to warn us, and they all went through controversies like Jim and depression, MJ being part of it. Everyone that gets close to the truth is silenced and forced to obey somehow. The wicked really do rule the world. Another person said, wow, wow, wow. Jim Carrey knew and tried to tell us. Then his girlfriend died shortly after this aired. Listen closely to the words Jim used.
That adrenochrome thing, man. I watched and read some fucked up stories on this adrenochrome, on how they get it from the kids, and man, I think that is way too much for the podcast. I mean, it's pretty fucked up what they do to these kids and these babies. So I just wanted to share that with you. I think there's a lot going on there. I think there's a lot still within those Epstein files that can, be dug up. The problem is a lot of it's hard to stomach. It really is, and I don't think a lot of people are prepared to actually, hear these type of things. And then going through all this stuff, I've heard stories and read stories of girls and guys that's been sex trafficked, and some of them with, kids that's going through rituals with their parents. And, it's pretty intense. And some of the stuff, when you're hearing the kids talk about it, you're like, how would they make something like that up? So what I wanted to do tonight is I just wanted to share one of the stories. I pulled a mild one just to give you an idea on what's out there. And I can't confirm that this story is accurate, but I can tell you this, based off of a lot of the other stories that I've read or have heard, it's pretty damn the same. And it's just not in the United States. I'm talking about all over the world. Check this out.
How much do you remember about the very first ritual that you witnessed?
There was a victim named Sam. He was 8 years old, from Chicago. Or at least that's what my parents told me. Most traumatic night of my life. Like, my mom and dad were like, he's your new brother. We had dinner with him. They called it the Last Supper. And afterwards, they sacrificed him. She would tie me up on a chair, and I would be like, no, don't. And she would say, you have to do this, you have to do this. So it's like a lot of like verbal abuse and direction. A big reason for her doing these sacrifices, in my observations and experiences, is for her to get off to it. In between rituals, she would essay us, and she got to a point where she would get off by making others do the deed as well. So it was my turn when I was 5, almost 6, to solely sacrifice a child, and it was Sam. My mom was behind me, and she gave me a knife for my right hand, and she told me to do it to Sam. I wouldn't.
Did your mom force you to eat Sam?
Yes. That was my consequence for not sacrificing Sam. And it wasn't the first time I was fed human flesh.
Yeah, again, I can't say that that's exactly true, but I can tell you there's a whole bunch of stories like that.
That's disgusting, dude. Like, I even had a thought pop into my mind, and I was like, nope, you're not saying that.
That's what I'm getting at. It is so far, and I'm telling you, that was a mild version.
Even when we try to keep it light on here and joke around about some stuff, and then I'm just not going to throw that shade.
No, you can't. That's what I'm getting at. It's so bad, it's hard to talk about. And I think that's what shuts the Epstein Files down, is just shit is just hard to talk about. To think that people can actually do this is hard to, conceive.
Yeah.
All right. So I just wanted to show you that just so you can understand a lot of stuff that I look at. And it's like, I'm not bringing that to the show, but it is a hard subject to really talk about. I hope you learned something. I hope you guys out there learned something, or if not, I mean, let us know if you don't disagree. Thanks for watching or listening. I greatly appreciate all two of you. Like, share, comment, subscribe. This is the Sense and Senseless Podcast. I am Brian.
And I am Jason.
He is Jason.
Peace.
Peace.